Good morning. Welcome to Northwest Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm Diana Kohler. I'm the worship associate, and it's a pleasure to welcome the members of the Right Relations Committee to our virtual pulpit this morning. Thanks also to our tech team that includes Josh Berg, our ministerial intern, Ben Gable, our church administrator, and Ken Hermanat, our choir director, all of whom are doing an awful lot behind the scenes to bring the service to you today.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage.
This morning, we celebrate our Unitarian Universalist vision of building a diverse, multicultural, beloved community. We gather in acknowledgement that we are imperfect humans working in love toward a more perfect world.
We are, hi, I'm Uriah. I'm going to read it now. And it says, we are cups constantly and quietly being filled. And the trick is knowing how to tip ourselves over and let the beautiful stuff out by Ray Bradbury.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.
First, let's begin with love and never let go. Our Universalist forebears believed in a God of love, a God flowing unconditional love, that the love would pursue you even after death, unrelenting. They believed that to know, really know, that love would mean that out of you and into everyone whom you then loved. What if we decided to truly believe in the power of love? Believe that there is a sustaining, commanding, transforming reality, the reign of love, a love that fulfills and goes beyond justice, a love that cares for the fullest personal good of all, believed in the bones that our world aches for. It will take recommitting to an ethic of personal responsibility, and that ethic of personal responsibility is made more for us to live into if we ground ourselves in love. Real love, not emotional bosh. The kind of love that is a struggle to embody. Persistent, overflowing love where every day we wake up with the personal goal to love better that day. To put love into fierce action, to find the to learn how to lift up and empower the people around us, and to accept love, to feel centered in love so deeply that we can relax ego to feeling right to defensiveness and acting out of anxiety. This reading is by Joanne Fontaine Crawford, My Love Song to Unitarian Universalism.
The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning, where love will not divide, reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, by faith we dare to proclaim, we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love.
Good morning. Today I want to tell you about a little church in Transylvania that was the first Unitarian church. And when this town decided that they wanted to build their church, everyone got involved. And they hired masons who would come and build the stones and correct the structures. They hired people in the town who would cut big wooden beams for trusses for the ceilings and thatch a roof so the rain wouldn't get in. Everyone came when it was time to paint, and they painted flowers and designs all around the altar and the doors and the windows. Everyone in the town contributed to building this church. And they put the church high on a hill so it would look down over the whole village the way a mother might look down on a sleeping child at night. And they worked all week. And finally, on the last day, they worked and worked and worked, and it was ready. And an elder said, "Let us all go home, have our supper, and come back, and we will pray and worship together." And one family, Zora and her father, they stayed behind because they had brought their bread and cheese with them for dinner, and they ate right there on the church grounds. And Zora went in and she twirled and watched how the setting sun was coming through these windows that had been put in the church with the beautiful stained glass. And she realized they had put wrought iron hooks, big black metal hooks, where lanterns could hang. And she said, "But Papa, there are no lanterns. The church is not ready. There will be no light." And her dad said, "Ah, Zora, the people are the light of the church. Light cannot exist in a church without its people. And so you will see when it's time for worship, young one, exactly what happens." And she thought, "I don't understand this. There's no lanterns, there'll be no light, and we'll all be in the dark together." But when the time came, Zora got to ring the big bell that they had installed to tell the whole village that it was time to gather for worship. And she watched as little lights came up the hill. One by one, each family was bringing a lantern from their home, lit and coming up in a single file line. And as they entered the church, one by one, the families would hang their lantern on the wrought iron hooks. And at first, the light was small. And then another family and another brought their lantern. And the light grew until the whole church building was filled with light. And they could see one another's beautiful smiles. And they sang and they prayed and they worshiped together and they told stories and they rejoiced in this community church that they had. And when the church service ended, each family took their lantern off the wall and went back home with it. And as Zora was walking home with her family, she said to her mother, "Mom, the people are the light of the church." "Yes, Zora, that is true. But they also take the light of the church back home with them." "Yes, Zora, that's the most important part," said her mother. "What happens when we come together, we take a little piece of that back home. And even when we extinguish our lanterns when we go to bed at night, we know that we carry the lamp of truth, the light of hope, the warmth of love, until we can all be together again." I wonder what it means that the people are the light of the church. What does that mean for us today when we don't bring lanterns to church anymore, but we flip switches to turn on lights? Are we still the light of the church? And what do we take back home with us? And how does that sustain us? How does that feed us until we can be together again?
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me, lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
Reverend Fontaine Crawford tackled the definition of beloved community in 2013 when she wrote in part, "Beloved community is not held within our church walls. As soon as you begin to think like that, you have moved into the exact opposite of beloved community. Because in creating that definition of community, you have necessarily created otherness. There is the community inside our walls, the people who think like us and act like us. And there are the people who are not part of that community, the others. This is not beloved community." She references that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King learned the concept of beloved community while studying the writings of the late 19th century philosopher Josiah Royce, who distinguished between small communities of grace that were loyal to the greater cause of the universal beloved community, and those who were insular, often predatory in their loyalty to their own. Universalism is naturally woven into beloved community. Universalism is universal salvation, salvation for everyone, unconditional.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come build the land, my people we seek. Come build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
Good morning. I'm Paul, and I thank you for having me. Today I'll be reading To All Get Free Together by Chris Crass. Our goal is not to have white people sit alongside a person of color, so as to affirm that those white people aren't racist. Our goal is to build and be part of beloved community, united to end structural oppression and unleash collective liberation in our faith communities, schools, neighborhoods, workplaces, and throughout society. Our goal is to join our hearts and minds to the task of destroying white supremacy in every worldview, policy, law, institution, and governing body of our society. For our faith communities to be places of healing from the nightmare of racism that haunts people of color and white people. For our faith communities to be places of nourishment, sustaining the multiracial struggles of our people to advance economic, racial, and gender justice. For our faith communities to be part of the continual process of working within the movement as part of the journey to end oppression in society. Our goal is for our faith communities to be spiritually alive, learning from and contributing to liberation cultures and legacies. For our faith communities to be welcoming homes for people of all colors, sexualities, classes, ages, abilities, genders, and citizenship statuses. For our faith communities to regularly invite us into and prepare us for courageous action for collective liberation, held in loving community for the long haul. May our faith communities be active agents in the world to help us all get free together. Thank you.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know.
morning. Our closing words are from the Reverend Nancy Bowen. The purpose of the church is to heal the consequences of lovelessness and injustice in the hearts and souls of our members, so they might heal the community and together heal the world. May we all embody that purpose.